Folks, I'm going to get into the condo closing gamble that we're experiencing today, and then the latest home prices and insights for condos across the GTA for week ending April 22nd, 2026. If you want to speak directly with me about your real estate situation, selling, buying, it's really simple. You can go to tsre.ca. That'll take you straight to our calendar where you can book a time that suits you, or below this video in the description, there's a link to my calendar. Click on that, book a time that suits you, and we'll talk about whatever's on your mind. These days, with the abundance of condo listings that are newer condos, 1-year-old, 2-year-old, 3-year-old, they're brand new still. Many buyers, many condo buyers also have a preference of, I want something new. They want something new. They're not so much attracted to an older style type condo, although there's lots of buyers looking for that also for different reasons. The condo closing gamble really refers to these newer condos. There are an abundance of newer condos where the value has dropped below the mortgage on these condos. This is not something we have had to worry about in the past. And from time to time in the past, there was a situation where a condo seller has had a hard time closing. I said the seller, you heard me correctly, where there's just not enough money there from the sale price to cover the mortgage, the expenses, or the lien that's on the condo for the mortgage. So the seller has to come up with outside money to add to the sale. Well, that situation is becoming more numerous. I'm not going to go so far as to say it's widespread, it's everywhere, but it is becoming more numerous, more part of everyday activity now, where a condo seller has a difficult time closing and may not close. I'm bringing this up because if you've purchased, well, put yourself in the buyer's position. The buyers are buying this condo, all excited that they're going to move in. Sometimes all they're doing is just waiting for that lawyer's phone call to say, congratulations, you've closed, pick up your keys. And many times these condo buyers, they got their luggage ready. They got the furniture truck moving in. They were just waiting for that phone call. And sometimes that doesn't come because the seller was not able to close. Now, there's many sellers that are financially organized. Look, it's not their fault that values came down and now they're kind of stuck. And when you're negotiating and trying to buy this condo, excuse me, many of these sellers will say, I can't sell at that price. I can't close. They're fully aware of their financial situation and they just will not sell it because they know their ability, their financial ability, and they know they can't close. But there's other condo sellers that'll say, well, if that's the most I can get, then that's the most I can get, and we'll say, okay, and thinking they're going to figure this out before closing. And they don't figure it out, and then you can't close. Now, we can see this problem happening well in advance. We are working far more at trying to ensure that the purchase we're doing with our condo buyers can actually close. We know, we can see the data, we research the data, we could see the mortgage on a condo, we can figure things out, we know what they bought it for, we do the research, and we know the seller is going to have a shortfall. Just the other day on a condo we purchased, we know the seller has approximately a $300,000 shortfall. You heard me right, $300,000 that the seller would have to come up with outside money in order to close. Through over and over and hounding the listing agent on the other side, we got a surety that it was going to close with the lawyer for the seller side emailing a message to my client's lawyer saying, yes, they're going to be able, the seller has the ability to close, and we've made arrangements for outside funds to come in order to close. It's not a foolproof system, but it goes a long way to ensuring that the condo we're buying for our buyers is actually going to be able to close. Not everybody does it like that. Not every seller has the means to do it like that, to actually come up with other money. As I said, some sellers understand this and they just won't accept a price where they can't close. And other sellers have the intention of figuring this out before closing, but they just don't. And the listing agents kind of are oblivious sometimes as to the financial ability of their clients, their seller clients, in order to close. So all this is happening. Again, I'm not saying it's widespread, but it's happening more and more. So my advice would be, if you're buying a condo, you kind of got to know that it's going to close. But as a precaution, if you're, for example, wherever you're currently living, if you've got a fixed hard date that you need to be out of that and move into the new place you just bought, maybe don't have your closing date the same date that you got to be moved out of. Just maybe, I'm saying, have a plan B in case there's a hiccup with the closing. Maybe put the closing date of the condo you purchased 1 or 2 weeks earlier than you've got to be out of where you are. Something, but wait for it to close before you make plans to move in. Don't have the move-in truck ready on closing date full. It may stay in that truck. You may not be able to move in. If you feel this video can help somebody you know, please pass it along. And if you get value from what we're talking about, subscribe. Now, let's get into the numbers. Here we go, folks. If you wanted to know what's happening with the condo market across GTA, you're in the right place. We're going to be focused on condo apartments only. We're going to break down what's happening in the city of Toronto, in York region for condos, and in Peel region for condos. These are average sold prices for 3 months, comparing the 3 regions we're speaking of. Overall, kind of looks like average prices are trending down. Let's look a little bit closer. This is for the city of Toronto, condo apartments only, not condo townhouses, for week ending April 22nd, 196 sold, which is fewer than the previous week. So overall, before this week, I would say sales are trending upwards, and they have been for several months. This week, sales are a little bit lower at 196. 14 of those sold at $1 million or more. Average sold price sitting at $608,000. Overall, since the beginning of the year, average sold price looks like it's been trending downward. Compared to last year, $608,000 is 16% lower. The median price of $553,000 is 11% lower than the same week a year ago. The dotted line, that's a 4-week moving average, just another way of tracking which way prices are going. Sometimes it makes it simpler, easier to spot a trend. When we look at the dotted line for average price and for median price, the 4-week moving average for both shows that prices are gradually have been trending downwards. 196 were sold, 30 of those, 15% sold at list price or more. Listings, the orange listings for this year, current. The blue, that's the same time a year ago. So you could see there's far fewer listings coming onto the market this year than last year. That's the blue. But overall, listings, and I'm just looking at the orange numbers now, listings have been trending up. Active listings have also been trending up. There's currently 4,773 condo apartments for sale just in the city of Toronto. That does not include, and we don't know the actual number of what we spoke about in previous videos of the shadow market, meaning condos that builders have sitting in inventory, or a condo seller has 3 or 4 condos, but they only put one on the market waiting for that to sell before. So there's lots of other inventory out there, and 4.1% of the condos available for sale actually sold. If you watch yesterday's show, the detached market for the city of Toronto, 9% of the detached properties available for sale actually sold. Condos for the city of Toronto, 4.1% actually sold. And months of inventory overall, if we go back for 3 months, months of inventory overall looks like it's been trending downward, now sitting at 5.6 months of inventory. If we kind of look at things from a different perspective and we break the city down into 9 different sections, let me point out a few areas here to you that I want to highlight. Etobicoke, average sold price is $579,000. Now remember, for the city, it was $608,000. So Etobicoke, $579,000, and I'm picking the areas that have slightly higher sales. For example, Rexdale, Downsview, there was only 6 sales. I really don't want to focus where our average prices are there. But Etobicoke, 21 sales, $579,000. Scarborough, 30 sales, $477,000 is the average sold price there. If we go uptown, 32 sales, $562,000 is the average condo price. York Mills, Rosedale, this is Midtown, usually has the highest average sold prices of condos across the GTA. $886,000 is the average price there. And downtown Toronto, where we see most of the condo sales, 65 were sold for an average sold price of $671,000. Let's look at 1-bedroom versus 2-bedroom condos. I do want to add that the 1-bedroom includes 1 bedroom plus den, and the 2 bedrooms also 2 bedrooms plus den. So 1-bedroom condos, 90 were sold. Average sold price is $507,000. It's pretty clear over time, average sold price has been trending down. If we go back a whole year, we were in mid 500s to 570, 560. We're now at 507. 507 is 9% lower than the same week a year ago. 2-bedroom condos, 88 were sold. Average sold price, $703,000, also has been trending down. If we go back a year ago, we were sitting in the mid-80s, 800s to high 800s. We're now $703,000. Compared to last year, 703 is 15% lower. When we compare the two, 1-bedroom in orange to 2 bedrooms in blue, well, the 1-bedroom has a 5.2 months of inventory. That's the 1-bedroom, and the 2-bedroom is a 5.1 months of inventory, pretty similar. The difference in average sold price is $196,000. Sales, pretty similar. Let's look at the breakdown by square footage. And when I have this range here, that's the range that will appear on MLS listings. And the range of between 600 to 699 square foot sold 48. Far more condos were sold 600 to 699 square feet than any other square footage range. Average sold price is $522,000, and that's $747 per square foot up to $870 per square foot. Nothing close to $1,000 a square foot. Let's look at York Region condos. 38 were sold. 3 of those sold at $1 million or more. Average sold price, if we go back just a few weeks, I'd be saying that average sold price has been trending upwards. Not aggressively, but has been trending upwards still. Way off from where we were this time a year ago. But the last 3 weeks, average sold price has been lower. We're currently at $557,000. 557 is 16% lower than the same week a year ago. The median price of 538 is 11% lower. When you look at the dotted line, you could see 4-week moving average was trending up and now it's kind of going the other way. 38 were sold, 26% sold at list price or more. 139 were listed. 3.9% of the available condos for sale in York Region actually sold. And months of inventory sitting at 5.9 months of inventory. Here's Peel Region. 27 sold. None sold at $1 million or more. Average sold price has been taking a beating. Average sold price is currently at $468,000. We were a year ago, mid 500s, we'll say, $468,000, and has been coming down quite a bit since the beginning of this year. 468 is 10% lower than the same week a year ago. The median price of 475 is 6% lower. 27 were sold, 11% sold at list price or more. Listings, 134 were listed. Active listings has been trending up. There's 939 available for sale. 2.9% actually sold. Now, folks, 2.9%, that is extremely low. That means 97% did not sell last week. No matter what field we're talking about, if you got 97% on an exam, in your mind you're thinking, that's perfect, 97%, like I got just about everything right. Well, 97% didn't sell. That's like almost all of them not selling. Months of inventory sitting at 8 months of inventory. Here's a quick summary. Pretty much a buyer's market. Some areas more aggressive of a buyer's market than others, but we're still, condos is not out of the woods, still pretty much a buyer's market. Thanks for watching. Have an awesome day.